Now that you know the story of writing On My Way, here's how I produced it. The voicemail I sent to Howard was in the key of G. That's getting up there for me, but I liked that feel for this song because it showed that sense of excitement when I was on my way to go see Howard. So I did an acoustic guitar demo and put my vocals on it. I was listening back to the demo and I thought that some stomps and claps would be super cute on this song, so I put those in there. So now I've got this really bouncy acoustic guitar part with some stomps and claps and snaps, and this melody popped into my head and said, keep making this cuter. At that time I was producing a song for the band Burr, and so my friends Amber and Adrian were over, and we all put the backing vocals down and decided it was a little too high to get up there. So we dropped the whole song down to the key of F. At this point, I knew this wasn't just an interlude track. It was telling me it wanted to be a full song. A bridge popped into my head. It reminded me a lot of Michael Franti. It was really fun and upbeat, and it escalated the song into the final chorus. While I was recording the vocals on the album, I was also going to a vocal coach named Betsy Hammer so she could help me unstick some of the sticking points on the vocal tracks. I played her this new song, and when I got to the big note where I belt out the last part of the bridge into the final chorus, she said, well, that wasn't very pleasant. So once again, I dropped the key of the song, this time just a half step, final answer, key of E major. This felt still excited in the verses, but allowed me to get up there to that big note at the end of the bridge. This is where I had to do some soul searching. Was this the song? Acoustic guitar, voice, snaps, and claps. I put some mellotron in there and I felt like that was adding something to the chorus. I put some B3 organ in there and I thought that was kicking it up a notch. It felt like it wanted more. So I got the band back together. They had already finished their parts on the album. It had been months, but I said, there's one more song, I really need you guys. So I had Rob Gould on drums, Patrick McIsaac on bass, and Ellen Angelico on guitars. And they sent me their tracks remotely, including the first ever banjo track on one of my songs. At this point, with my producer hat on, I'm saying, perfect, we're on to something. The band drops in at the end of the bridge, it elevates those last two choruses, and brings it home. However, the backing vocals of just me, Amber, and Adrian didn't stack up to the rest of what was happening. Separately, I had asked my friends Cole, Nalani, and Nikki to put backing vocals on some other songs. So I emailed them and asked them to put one more on the pile, and they added their parts to what I had already done with Adrian and Amber, creating this big celebratory chorus. So thanks to a little help from my friends, I had all the tracks I needed to mix it. It started with just an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and it turned into this full band situation with dozens of tracks. I'm really proud of the way it turned out, and I'm glad that my Patreon patrons convinced me to make it the first single. I think it's been a perfect way to introduce Howard's album to the world. Thank you for listening. Your feedback has meant so much to me. I hope that you've added it to your life soundtrack, that it becomes part of your love story and your personal journey. And I'll see you on the next one. It's called Paranoid in Paradise, and it's out on April 18th.